This is voice actor David Sobolov. I'm the voice of Gorilla Grodd on The Flash, Kaido in the English version of One Piece, and Shockwave on Transformers Prime. You are watching In Conversation with Amber the Fangirl, ATF. Amber, you are logical.
Hi guys, Amber here. Welcome back to In Conversation with ATF. Today my guest is a voice actor, a Canadian voice actor. In fact, I just found out he was Canadian very recently. Up until about a few months ago, I found out he was Canadian after always thinking he was an American. I was like, wow, okay, that was a really big fact. My voice actor guest has voiced Shockwave in Transformers Prime, Depth Charge and Teletraan 1 in the original Transformers Beast Wars series, Blitzwing in the Bumblebee movie, Brawl in the Transformers 2007 movie game, Kaido in One Piece, brand new character, just been announced, brand new role, just been announced only a few days ago, Drax in Disney Infinity 3.0 from Guardians of the Galaxy, I believe.
The series, yes.
Yep, knew it. I thought so. And he's also voiced so many other characters in video games, films, television. Wow, what a range this man has. My guest is David Sobolov. Hello. Did I pronounce your last name right?
Oh, pretty close. Sobolov, yeah.
Sobolov, right, sorry. David Sobolov. There we go. Yeah, I always said Sobolov. I was like, oh, how do I need to do that? I completely forgot to ask you how to say your last name.
You could say it like that. As long as people don't say Sobolov, because I don't want anyone to think I'm crying all the time, and I'm fine.
Oh, it's fine. Sorry, my mistake. So, David, how are you this Friday?
I'm well. I'm doing all sorts of stuff lately. The Kaido part that you mentioned is so fun. It's just new now. You know, they're so far behind in English. I started at episode 739. They've already done the Japanese 1000.
Wow.
So they are like 200 and whatever that is, 61 episodes.
Oh my word.
70 episodes behind. So I think I've just finished recording something like 779. So there's still over 200 episodes to go until they catch up. So I imagine it's going to be a while.
Oh man, well you'll have your schedule filled up for the next few weeks then. Glad I got you a good time.
Months maybe, we'll see.
Yeah. Also, I have a bit of the flu, by the way, so if I do cough, then that's fine. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I know it's very safe when you're speaking through a screen like this.
Yeah, I just keep having coughing fits and stuff, so if I do cough, then that's why. I don't have COVID or anything. I've tested negative for the past month.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah, so as I said, what have you been up to recently, David, apart from the whole One Piece recording?
Well, I'm getting back into fan conventions again, which is great. Yay! So I went down to Harlingen, Texas, which is right, if you know the geography of Texas, you know that there's like a tail to Texas, the way it's shaped?
Yes.
And the bottom part, it's all the way down the very last part of Texas, right on the Gulf of Mexico, on the border of Mexico. What a nice place. People are so friendly and sweet, and just did that. And then I'm going to TFCon in Toronto.
Wow.
On the 10th of December.
You're going back to Canada.
Yeah.
Wow. When did you last go back? When did you last go to Canada?
Boy, when did I last go to Canada? Good question. It's been a long time. Definitely before COVID, of course.
Yeah.
I'm just now researching like how to get into Canada. There's all sorts of rules and how to get back. There's no guarantee you can get back unless you have all the tests and everything.
Yeah, but haven't you got like a birth certificate to prove you're from Canada? Because it says on Wikipedia.
I'm a U.S. citizen as well. I'm a U.S. and Canadian citizen.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, my parents are American, and I was born in Canada, so it's easy to come back. But with COVID, there's a lot of tests you need and forms you have to fill out and stuff. So I'm figuring all that out.
I see. I've never been abroad before, so I don't know the whole protocols, border patrol, border control, anything like that.
Well, I'm used to traveling, but not with COVID, so I'm figuring out how that works. We all want to stay safe and get where we're going and do what needs to be done to keep everyone safe. Every country has different rules.
Yeah, America's only just allowing people from England back into the country again.
About a week ago.
Yeah, definitely. I remember one of my favourite YouTubers was supposed to go to a convention over in America, but he couldn't because obviously he wasn't allowed out of the UK because of those travel restrictions.
Yeah.
He had to miss that. Yeah, very sad. But at least we're getting back to normality, I guess.
Some form. It's getting there. Being vaccinated helps.
Yeah,
You have a
definitely.
lot more freedom. You know, they're starting to be very restrictive here about where you can go in California if you don't have a vaccination.
Yeah, where are you located in California?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, you lucky duck. Oh, love that place. I've never been there, but I love it.
It's very warm here today for November. It's in centigrade. It's probably 28.
Oh, you're making me jealous. It's only warm in my room because I've got the heater on. It's cold outside. It's all dark
Um,
and stuff like that. So, wow. I'm so jealous.
we miss weather here sometimes. We don't get much weather.
Oh,
Just
really?
yeah, it's just not very hardly ever rainy. Maybe in the winter for a few days.
I see.
We need more rain. There's a drought. We need more rain.
Hmm. Yeah, we always get rain over here. Hardly any sunshine in these winter months, to be fair.
Mm.
It's always just freezing and stuff, and then just so windy, everything blows over. So,
You know, it's funny. I think visiting England in the winter time would be fun for me
yeah.
because it's so different than here.
Yeah, it feels like, oh yeah, it's just normality for us, but to non-British people, it's just, oh wow, what's this? And you just get flung all over the place with all these wacky weather stuff and all that. So just moves.
I haven't lived in Canada in over 20 years. I left
Wow.
Vancouver 21 years ago, so
Oh wow.
I had to get a parka in case it was cold in Toronto. So I'm ready for the weather.
Wow, at least you'll get to use that again.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, you never know now with climate change. It could be 10 degrees or it could be minus 20. You don't know.
Yeah, wacky weather, as I say. Yeah. Hey, I've just remembered. So I didn't know this until very recently, but you were on the original Beast Wars series. Now, Susan Blue was the voice director for that series, and also the voice director for the first 3 episodes of Transformers Prime. What was it like to work with her after about 15 years, I think? Yeah.
Well, I didn't actually get to see her for Transformers Prime because Shockwave didn't appear until after she had left.
Oh no, did he not? Oh
No,
yeah.
I didn't get to see her.
Oh dear.
She had a family emergency and she had to leave.
Yeah, her wife died.
Yeah.
Very
So,
sad.
but I've seen her since. You know, I saw her at a convention one time. It was wonderful to see her again.
Oh, did
She's
ya?
such a great person, great director. When we did Beast Wars, she would act the scene with you
Did
to
she?
get you into it. Oh yeah, she's great.
Wow. Wow. I remember, yeah, definitely reminds me of the story she told me because I've interviewed her for my channel and Gary Chalk as well. They've both told the same story of how Gary Chalk had to record this burp for one effect, and he took a big swig of Coca-Cola, he burped, and it felt like some of it went onto the recording paper, and he sucked it back in. On the floor laughing. Have you heard that story before?
No, I never have.
Really? Wow. Wow, well, I'll definitely find it in both of my interviews and I'll definitely send it to you, but
Sounds
it
good.
actually happened. Just ask Sue and Gary. I promise you it did happen. Right, well, another question sort of relating to it. What was it like to sort of return to the Transformers franchise like 10 years after Beast Wars? Because you were in, obviously, the Transformers game. The video game, you were Brawl.
And then Transformers Prime, and then Blitzwing in the movie. I didn't think I'd get a chance to ever do Transformers again after the first time. Wow, I mean, 10, 15 years later, I'm doing it again. And then I did it again. What an amazing thing. I didn't think I'd ever have 3 major roles in Transformers, ever.
Yeah.
I
find
was
it
excited
funny.
enough to have one.
I find it funny how in Bumblebee, like, there's 2 Shockwave voice actors in it, and none of them voice Shockwave. It's you and Steve Bloom, because Steve Bloom did it in War for Cybertron. Corey Burton was meant to do it, but I don't know why he quit, so they got Steve Bloom to do it instead. Yeah, very cool.
Steve's always good as the original or the substitute, whatever
I love
you need him for,
Steve. I love Steve. He's brilliant. He's very lovely. Into the Shockverse, just different alliterations of Shockwave.
Well, I liked in Transformers Prime how our characters were clashing so much. You know, Shockwave was so stoic and cold, but with Starscream, he got a little upset sometimes.
Yeah.
He pushed his buttons.
Yeah, indeed. I have seen a few episodes. I haven't seen the whole series because I'm watching it in order, so I'm watching like G1 and then Beast Wars and then the series after that and stuff. Well, to be fair, I think I'm going to do G1, then Beast Wars, then Animated and Prime. I don't know, but definitely those 4 series. Not in order, but, you know. Want to get round to it, really, when I have the time, because we're currently doing a Christmas show. Rehearsing so much for it, so I probably won't be free until after Christmas to do any binge watching. Yeah. Yeah, it would have been a Christmas show. No, it sounds big, but because for me it's like my first big theatre role because I managed to snag a main role in
Hmm.
it.
Great.
We're doing It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Stage version.
yeah, the normal film all Americans watch every festive season.
Hmm.
Yeah, I play Violet Bick. Not sure if you know who she is in the film.
I don't know the names of the characters, but was she the wife
Nah, that was
of the
Mary
main
Hat.
guy?
Violet Bick's the one who runs the drugstore. She's like the
Oh, okay.
sexy lady who's like always trying to impress George, and she's always walking like, "Oh, hi, George," anything like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, I play like that. And my teacher was like describing her to me, and he was like, "She's basically a sex machine." I'm like, "Oh, brilliant! Oh, that's absolutely brilliant." I'm so sorry. I'm just excited. I was like, I get to dress like a tart. That's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Cool.
Have you got any plans for festive season, and David?
Well, I'm going to be traveling quite a bit when I go to Toronto. I'm going to move on and see some family in Canada and down to Philadelphia. So an early Christmas for me,
Oh yeah,
and then
because it's in December.
yeah, I'll be back in Los Angeles for the season. So I'll just be here.
Ah, I see. Wow, that's really cool. I'd like to ask you again, I'm sorry about Transformers Prime. What a stellar voice cast you worked with. Frank Welker, Peter Cullen, Jeffrey Combs,
All those people,
Steve
yeah.
Bloom. Yeah, wow. What was it like working with all of them? I mean, you obviously recorded
Well,
together.
yeah, well, that's the great thing to have to be in the same room with those guys because you get to see them not only playing the characters right next to you. Steve was right next to me, so when we
Oh,
had clashes, it was right live, right in my ear. But a lot of people that have been working in the business for decades and decades and decades, just hearing their stories and being able to hang out with them was a lot of fun. So yeah, it was a great group. It was very special. It was very
oh.
unusual amount of talent in that room. And I was sad that we didn't get to continue. They were planning on it, but
Oh,
Hasbro
yeah.
decided they wanted to sort of skew younger, I think,
Yeah, I'm
and they let
happy.
us go. And also the show was on a network called The Hub in the US,
Yeah, I've
and it
heard of that.
only lasted 4 years, and not much of the country was seeing it. So I
Oh
think
yeah,
that was a
didn't it
problem
turn into
too.
like Discovery Channel or something? Discovery Channel
Yeah,
Kids or something,
yeah,
yeah.
they had a part ownership of it, and then they took it over.
I see. Wow. And I've just remembered you went to BotCon 2013, which was in San Diego,
Hmm.
California, and
Yes.
it was you, James Horan, Wally Burr, the voice director for the original Transformers series, and all the
Hmm.
Rescue Bots cast. Did you meet Wally Burr there?
I've met Wally Burr. I'm trying to think. I've met him at a couple conventions back in the day,
Oh, I
years
see.
ago. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I used to run into Wally all the time.
Oh wow, that's so cool. And I'm presuming you met.
He's left us, right?
Yeah, he
This is.
passed away about 4 years ago.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think he was in his 90s actually.
Yeah, he was. I was amazed at the time how he was still touring around, doing
Yeah,
conventions at his age. Well, good
yeah,
for him, though. Good for him.
yeah. He was 93. Yeah, 1924 he was born.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I think if you make
very
it to
long
your
life.
90s, you've done well.
Yeah, I agree too. I mean, June Foray left us at 99. That was a good. That was a good. Did you ever meet June Foray?
I never got to meet her. No.
Neither did I. Well, to be fair, I haven't never travelled abroad and I got into cartoons when after she passed away. But I always like to respect all these brilliant old voice actors like June Foray,
Mm-hmm.
Bill Scott, Paul Frees, Dawes Butler, Don Messick. Everyone like that. So
It's great when you work at Warner Brothers. There's they have this area called the Warner Brothers Ranch. It's separate. It's a few blocks away from the main studio complex,
yeah.
and that's where the animation building is, where you record for Warner Brothers. And we go in there, and they have all the old photos from back in the day.
Oh
So all the
wow,
people that work there. It's just great walking the halls there.
that's so cool. Wow, I have to look up photos of that actually. I'm having a look at the list here of BotCon. Yeah, a lot of Amari went as well. Amari Williams. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
presuming you probably met him there, and or
Yeah,
everyone
we
else.
worked together. I'm trying to think where we did a couple movies together, I think.
Oh really? Oh wow! And everyone else,
Yeah.
Ilan Garfias and Diamond White. Yeah. I believe it was that one, or it might have been the next one. But after one of them, I can't remember which BotCon it was. Amari told me, but it's
Mm-hmm.
escaped my head. They went to the San Diego Zoo afterwards, all of them, and all the Rescue Bots cast. And I was like, that must have been the coolest. Oh no, I think it might have been this 2013 because I think I did picture Diamond White with them, so it was definitely 2013.
Yeah, I don't remember being a part of that, so I wasn't with them. I don't think.
Yeah, wow, that must have been so cool though, honestly, man. Yeah. Wow, I mean, you've experienced it all. I mean, you were born in Canada, you've done so much work in America and stuff, you've traveled around, you've been to England. Wow. I really want to finish off my bucket list. One of my things on my bucket list is really just to visit America.
You will. You're still young. You've got lots of time.
I know, but I remember when I was in primary school, all my friends would be coming back saying, I went to Disney World in Florida and stuff like that. I'm like, I went to a caravan park in Wales. And to be fair, that caravan park was actually quite nice, but at the time you think, oh no, it's not as good as America, but when it's on a sunny Anglesey beach, it's beautiful.
And I'm sure people fly from here to go there to see it.
Yeah.
The grass is always greener, they say,
Oh yeah, North Wales is just beautiful in the summer.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that. I want to see it.
Yeah, I think Anglesey is probably the best place.
I'm hoping to get to go to the Wales Comic Con at some point.
Oh, the one in Telford. Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, that's on this month. I think one of my friends is going to that.
Don't they have like 2 or 3 a year?
Oh yeah, they do. They did it. They did it at Wrexham University, and then they moved it to Telford for some reason. I don't know why. It just said Telford Takeover. I'm like, but Telford's not in Wales, so why?
No, I didn't know that.
You call it Shropshire Comic Con because it's in Shropshire technically. One of the best West Midlands. So that's like near Birmingham.
Here they would say Wales adjacent.
Wow, you have to teach me some Canadian slang.
Well, it's American. In
American.
the States, people like to be snobby about where they live here in Los Angeles. So they'll say Beverly Hills adjacent when they live close to Beverly Hills.
Ah, I see. Well, that's cool. I'm gonna have to start using that. So if Warrington's lets me, Warrington adjacent. Perfect. That's what else can we talk about? The Bumblebee movie.
You tell me. Oh, that was great. That I performed with an intensity that the other Transformers characters didn't have because I knew that it was going to be on a big screen with big sound, and it's more than human. It's more than a human can do. Of course, it's all enhanced. The speakers and everything, and the way they record it and the way they mix it, they make it huge. But you just have to be as big as you can be. The first line that I did in that show, in that movie, did you think you could hide? I can't do that ever anywhere. I did it at the convention in Texas, and half the room went silent because it's so intense. It sounds like somebody's getting murdered. You have to be really careful where you do stuff like that. Do you know that a sound booth at a sound studio is the best place to murder someone?
Is it?
Not that I ever would, but because you're screaming and yelling and like, oh, they're just doing a video game. You'd be going, help!
Oh my! Oh, that's a good one. So did Blitzwing only have one line? Because I believe he appeared in the opening.
Oh no, he had more than that. He had a whole scene.
Was he in the opening scene?
Kind of, almost, not in the big Cybertron scene, but later on, they go through the forest, and there's the military people get attacked by him,
right.
And then he's chasing after Blitzwing he's chasing Bumblebee through the forest. To get him, and then he, did you think you could hide when he finally gets him? Then they have the whole scene. Blitzwing dies. Remember Bumblebee takes a rocket from his chest and sticks it into his chest and kills him.
I've never seen the film, but
okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
He has a great scene.
Spoilers don't bother me. To be fair, when it says Transformers film has already been released, spoilers don't bother me.
To be fair, this many years later, it's hard to say it's a spoiler. I'm sorry.
But if it's a spoiler when Rise of the Beast comes out, like it comes out of cinemas a day after. I don't want any spoilers until I've seen the film. But if it's a Transformers film from 2018, go ahead, spoilers. I'm gonna find out what happens anyway. It's not much.
Yeah, I didn't know you hadn't seen it. Sorry about that.
It's fine. I have the DVD in my cupboard, but I've never watched it. I'm trying to get the strength up to watch it because my autism is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch this and I'm gonna get so overhyped I won't be able to sleep that night. So I gotta try and prepare myself one night to actually sit through and watch it because.
Well, why don't you just spontaneously maybe watch it in the morning, and then you get the whole day to calm down.
That's a good idea, but I've been thinking maybe I should save it until I meet Peter Cullen again. Because what I'm thinking of doing is, if when Peter Cullen and Frank Welker come back to the UK, I want to try and watch one of the Transformers films on the morning, and then go to Liverpool or London, wherever. Just meet them and just like, oh my gosh, I love you. Oh my gosh. So, have you seen Frank or Peter in recent years since you filmed Transformers Prime?
I've run into both of them. When I did Guardians of the Galaxy, Frank came in a couple of times. So I got to see
wow!
him. Yeah, I got to bring him in for his session. I ran into him, and then Peter, strangely enough, I ran into on an airplane.
Oh!
Randomly.
Wow, where were you going?
I don't remember, but I was getting on for a convention, and there he was in first class. And then I went back to coach.
Wow, you must have been going. Were you going to the same convention?
I don't think so, no. I don't think he was going to a convention. He was just going somewhere.
Oh, well, if he was going to Canada, that explains it, because he's Canadian as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was born in Canada. Yeah, he did a few local Canadian TV shows back in the day, and he looks so... Wow, when he's young, he literally looks like his son, because he has a son who was born in the 70s. He literally looks like a younger version of his dad, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, wow, doppelgangers indeed. Wow, I'm still in awe that I'm talking to you, because I remember I was at my sister's house when I arranged our interview. I was like, oh yeah, 12th November, that's the day before Comic-Con, but that's completely fine because I'm a late night owl. And wow, you're here, you're actually here. I'm still in shock. Oh my gosh, this is just amazing.
You know the funny thing about my career is that it just seems like it's a lot, but when you just keep doing it for 30 years, it adds up after a while.
Have you done it for 30 years?
I've been doing it almost 30 years, and you wake up one morning, you've got this long list because you just kept working. It's just a steady thing, I've been lucky to get so many roles.
Wow. I've had 6 failed auditions and only 1 voiceover job, so at least you're doing better than me.
I've had hundreds of failed auditions.
Yeah, my first job is here. There's a little coin-operated helicopter ride, the things that you put the money in and they move. Yep, right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was like just before the pandemic. Got to see it in London, exhibited at this amusement arcade convention. I was like, oh my gosh, that's me! And just hearing my voice.
There'll be more. There'll be more.
Wow.
It's just about not giving up.
Just going through Facebook, people are posting on my timeline. What's going on? Why is everyone messaging me all of a sudden? Oh well, that's not important right now.
I don't know if you've ever thought of doing this. Have you ever thought of doing these live and then people could ask questions?
I've thought about that, but excuse me. Sometimes I have the weirdest fans on my YouTube channel, so they just spam the chat with anything. It's like literal 5-year-olds. They just type random gibberish and stuff. And then sometimes I've had people dox me, put my home address in the chat, bully other people in the chat, so I had to turn off the chat. I never have the live stream on chat. I never have the live stream chat on anymore. I've had, seeing some of the questions that they ask the voice actors on some of the streams, it's just weird. Like, can I see... I remember seeing this one time, this guy put on, I can't remember which voice actor it was, just saying, can I see your feet?
Yeah, all you do with that is you just ignore it. You just ignore it. I see that too. You just ignore it. That's all.
Yeah, Tim from Funny Science Fiction Podcast has said, he's a cool guy, looking forward to your interview release. Well, these are for your fans now, actually. Raymond says, if he ever returns to TF Nation, I will buy him a drink. I promise to not wait until 3 a.m. in the morning, though.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. And that's the end of our fan time. Now it's back to the real interview. So, David, what projects have you got coming up in the future? Have you got any good ones coming up in the future?
A lot of stuff that I can't talk about. They make us sign non-disclosure agreements.
Oh no, the dreaded non-disclosure agreement.
But Kaido only recently, got released from that, so I can talk about that. But
yeah,
that's
sure.
my big thing right now.
Let's talk about Kaido.
Yeah, it's my big thing right now.
Yeah,
I love him because it's a crazy thing with him. He's so unusual. He's drunk all the time, so he always sounds a little bit drunk. There's no spoiling because all these episodes have been released in Japanese, so people have seen these. I can talk about the plots and nobody will care because they're already there. There's one coming up where he's drinking and drunk the entire episode. Wow. And of course, I play it comedically. I'm not going to take it super seriously, but he's just very unusual. I'm learning about him as I go along.
Yeah. What I
Learning new
find,
things every time I do an episode.
yeah. What I find really weird or funny is that Toei Animation, who animate One Piece, also animated the original G1 Transformer series.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, indeed. I'm having a look at your credits. Wow. Just found your Bumblebee thing on behind the voice actors. Let's give it a listen.
Did you think you could hide? Now you'll die screaming like your friends. Tell me where your friends are hiding.
I would, if I heard that and I didn't find out who the voice actor, I would have thought that was Frank Welker. Sounds a bit like Megatron. Yeah.
That's a compliment. The first line you could hear what a scream it was, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I remember you said, said that,
Doing
and
that
the whole
live,
room just went silent.
Well, what happened was when we recorded it, we only did that one line for an entire session.
Really?
Because it was so vocally stressful, we could only do it for about an hour, and then that was the end of the session.
Wow.
So much. That was the most intense scream I've ever done, almost. And in the movie, it just sounds normal, but it's normal for that huge character on that huge screen, but not normal for a human being.
I can definitely tell. Let's just listen to it now. You wouldn't think, wow, that was a big scream. Yeah, it's just, it confuses me a little bit to think, oh yeah, it sounds normal, but the amount of stress that you've put into it and the whole everything like that, it's just, wow. I'm just going through all of behind the voice actors. Found your depth charge voice.
I gotta hand it to you, Primal. When you screw up, you do it big time. But thanks for the tip.
Now you hear much higher that is. I would play his father now.
Yeah.
It's been I couldn't match that voice anymore. It's one of the only ones that I couldn't do.
What's the secret to your deep voice?
Well, the secret is that I've done 90 video games and it's ruined my voice. So I've stripped out the voice a lot. It's gravelier, it's lower. My high end is gone. I can still work, but I don't have the higher voice that you get older too, so your voice gets deeper. But yeah, I don't have the high end I used to have. That's okay. Most people want me for low stuff.
How long have you had this deep voice for?
Well, I mean, it's to some degree since I was 14. But this deep of a voice really only the last 10 years.
I was going to say, because you pretty much sound like Shockwave now. I mean, that as a compliment, by the way. I don't, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, all my characters are. I'm pretty much like an on-camera actor. I don't always have huge voice prints. It's just me adjusting the character to the circumstances adjusting the voice to the circumstances of the character. So you'll always know it's me, and that's okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because, if somebody appears on camera, a regular actor that you always know it's them. They're just playing somebody else, and I don't really worry about whether or not it's me. I don't try to cover it up. But it's just me. I studied with a guy named Sanford Meisner. He was a teacher many years ago in New York, and he said acting is living truthfully under given imaginary circumstances. So I just try to live truthfully. If a voice print comes to me that's sort of more extreme than my normal voice, then I'll definitely. It's always, you can tell the adjustment is subtle. Like I do Grodd on the Flash television series, and that one is almost whispered.
Yeah.
Grodd ate banana, and then they blow it up really loud in the machine.
Yeah.
There are other times I'm screaming, but you don't have to scream sometimes to do a great villain or a great big character. You got to remember you have a microphone in front of you. Mm-hmm. The microphone can help you a lot.
Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm. I only have a little small tonal microphone here. I got this last Christmas. Best thing I probably got for Christmas, to be fair. I've always wanted a proper microphone, so I use that for auditions and stuff. As for soundproof stuff, I just put a blanket over my head. I don't have, as you can see, I don't have a soundproof room, so I just have to improvise.
Yeah, I converted a closet. And put sound baffling around it, and I have a Neumann mic that they would have at the studios, and just make sure it sounds as professional as I can. They expect that now, especially during COVID. You had to sound like you were at Warner Brothers or you were at Disney. You had to sound that good. And we all invested a lot of money in our studios, and now we can do all this work remotely if we have to.
Yeah.
No matter what happens with the pandemic, or, sometimes you do a little commercial or something, and you might have one line to say that might take 10 minutes. It doesn't make sense if you can have the same quality at home why drive over an hour one way and back when you can just do it at home and get the exact same result?
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense that you can do a lot of the stuff at home if they let you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's not.
But I do.
But
what I do miss though is the community, getting together with people, seeing people, doing a group recording like we did with Guardians of the Galaxy or Transformers Prime. I miss that, and I will miss that. Like a lot of the more famous voice actors have moved out of Los Angeles now during the pandemic, and they just work from their homes wherever they are.
Really?
You know, I know where a lot of them are, but I'm not going to tell you because
I know Steve Bloom's now in Hawaii because he said that on social media.
Oh, he announced that. Yeah, it's just people need their privacy, but it's kind of makes me a little bit sad that everyone's moved away.
Yeah, and they're not going to be in person recording sessions anymore. Like you're not going to be able to go to their house to have a chat or anything like that, or to go to their house for not Thanksgiving, like a party or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. I'll see them on Zoom if we do a group record.
Yeah, it's not the same for you, but for me, it's pretty much normal considering I'm in a different country.
Well, I do teach over Zoom, and I do demos over Zoom for people, and I'm really comfortable with that.
I see.
Yeah, I love doing it. I've had students all over the world, and Zoom makes that possible, and I really learned that really well during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But doing a group recording of a cartoon, it's just nothing like being together. I'm producing my own show right now.
Are you?
Trying to sell, yeah. And we tried to sell it to networks. And we've recorded all of the actors for an initial episode.
Is it a cartoon?
It's a cartoon, yeah. And we had to do it all separately.
Oh, wow.
Remotely.
Is there anything you can say about that? What it's called? Who voice acts in it?
I don't want to say too much right now because the thing is with that, you don't really want to talk about your projects too much before they get sold because it makes it vulnerable to someone else just sort of using those ideas, incorporating those ideas. So you keep them private for a while. It'll be out pretty soon.
Yeah, I wonder who voice acts in it. Imagine if you just got a bunch of your Transformers Prime cast members back, like Frank Welker, Steve Bloom, Jeffrey Cook. That'd be actually kind of cool. It'd be like a little reunion, wouldn't it?
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do have. I won't even say who it is. I have one person that's played a famous Transformers character. I'm thinking about the cast that I have now. I'm in it, so I guess that's two. Who else is in it? That done? No, just the one. There's one other very famous Transformers actor in it. But I can't say much yet. Come and find me in 6 months. I might be able to talk about it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You know what? It's just, I bet you £5 if I get it right. You have to PayPal me. No, don't do that. I'm thinking in mind who it could be, but I'm like, no, it couldn't be. It couldn't be.
Well, I haven't really given you any hints, but
I'm thinking. My mind's tell me Frank Welker, but I'm like,
oh no, I would love it if Frank would agree to work on something like that, but no,
I literally have tons in my head over different alliterations like G1, Beast Wars, Animated, Prime, Rescue Bots. You don't know who it is. So many people. Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that's a mystery waiting to be solved.
It's the most difficult thing about podcast interviews now because people always want to know what you're doing, but it's always secret. Yeah. Now, they if you're doing a movie, they'll announce it early, but other than that, it's usually the day of release.
Yeah.
That's when you get to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've just had a look on behind the voice actors. I forgot you were an Elite Battle Angel. You were a Centurion.
Yeah. If you saw it, did you see that movie?
I haven't seen the film, but I've heard of it because I saw Greg Berger put on his Facebook that he was a voice actor in the film. He voices a Deckman. You're a Centurion.
He did a great job in that. Yeah. The Centurions are police.
Oh, I see.
It's a robot. But it's many robots, but the same voice comes out of all the robots.
So your voice comes out of every single robot?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that often in the show that you see it, but he pops up once in a while.
I see. Yeah, well, I was going to say that. I thought that was really cool because you and Greg were like the only... Oh, my headphones come out. You were the only two voice actors in it, and you've done both for Transformers. So I thought that was really cool. Mm-hmm. Definitely really cool.
I haven't seen Greg. I haven't seen anyone for a while. I'm starting to run into people again, but Greg, I probably haven't seen him in 3 or 4 years. I'd love to see him again.
Yeah,
the last time I saw him was on the Fox movie lot when we were doing Alita Battle Angel.
Was it? Wow.
That's the last time I saw him, yeah. And Alita Battle Angel is the very last feature film that was produced and released by Fox before Disney bought them.
Really?
The very last one they ever did in over about 80 years.
Wow.
Fox. Yeah.
That reminds me, Disney recently brought out, you know who Blue Sky Studios are? Ice Age, Rio, Robots. They're releasing a new Ice Age film. It's like a spin-off film of the book character from Ice Age 3. The animation is done by Disney now, and it's just stiff. It doesn't look right. It doesn't have that blue sky feeling, like all flexible. Yeah, they basically made the character designs look more stiff and more ugly, really. The mouths don't articulate that much. The fur isn't realistic. It's just all plasticky. It ruined it.
So I mean, often when they bought Pixar, they let them do their thing separately. The Pixar do their thing separately, and they'll leave them alone creatively. But maybe in this case, they just got more involved.
No, it wasn't Pixar who did this. It was just Disney under the whole Blue Sky name. But I don't know. Well, it just says Blue Sky Studios have shut down, but they were kind of like, bought out, I guess. It says it doesn't say the fate. Well, it said it shut down due to the impact of COVID-19. Oh no, it was still a property of it was a subsidiary of 20th Century Fox until its acquisition by Disney. And then Disney announced they were shutting down Blue Sky Studios because of the whole impact. So, yeah, they were owned by Disney, so they must have taken on the film. But it looks terrible. It looks, honestly. It's called, I think, The Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, being produced by... It doesn't say who it's being produced. It just says it's being released for Disney Plus only. But I've had a look at the trailer this morning. It's got a lot of dislikes. I'm rewatching it now.
On the positive side, Disney Plus has been really great for old cartoon series and cartoon series that like Guardians of the Galaxy just recently was finished, and you get to see them now. And my old shows on there, Spider-Man Unlimited from the 90s.
And they also just announced X-Men 97, a new continuation of the X-Men
series. One. That's great.
Oh, the whole cast coming back, Leno's and Catherine Disher. Wow.
Some old cast is coming back. That's great.
All of them, all the original cast members, Cal Dodd, everyone. Yeah.
I just heard about it today. I get together once in a while with Eric and Julia Lewald, who wrote RoboCop years ago, and they were also the original creators of X-Men.
Oh wow!
And they're consulting on the new series, according to the trades. I read that today.
Yeah, I'm having a look at it. As I said, I'm looking at this trailer. I remember having a listen, and some of the voice actors sound really off. I don't know if it's because they sound off or they just got completely different voice actors. But that doesn't sound like John Leguizamo voicing Sid. Doesn't sound like him at all. Oh,
so they have clips.
Yeah, they've pretty much. Yeah, there's clips of them talking. It just looks stiff. None of the furs. It's all blunt. There's no... It's hard to describe. It's just terrible. That's all I'm going to say. I can't say anything else.
This is the X-Men. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of wonderful things, too.
Yeah, I suppose. Blue Sky were really great, though. Yeah, at least we got 5 Ice Age.
Oh, you're not talking about X-Men.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about Blue Sky Studio. I mean, X-Men is brilliant.
You jump back from X-Men to the Blue Sky, okay.
Sorry, my bad. I do apologise.
It's okay. Okay.
Yeah, X-Men. Lenore Zan, she was a member of Parliament. She was a voice actress, then became a member of Parliament, and left Parliament, and now she's back in voice acting, which I think is really cool. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to listen to that little Blitzwing clip again, because you did you do a scream at the beginning of the... You'll Never Hide.
Well, they've just jumped ahead. That didn't really run the scenes here. They're just pulling lines out.
I see. Right. So listen. Yeah, it sounds. Picturing you saying it. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does sound quite rough. To be fair.
Oh yeah. Definitely the veins were bulging in the head when I was screaming that one.
Oh, where did you record? Oh, did you record at Paramount?
We recorded on the Paramount movie lot.
Oh wow! So like when you say movie lot, do you mean like in a recording booth or like on the set?
There's different buildings there. There's stages where they have where they shoot films.
Yeah.
And there's something called an ADR stage, automated dialogue replacement. It's meant for people that have been in the film and they can replace their voice afterwards, and they have to have the big screen there so people can see it. Well, they also do films and TV show. They want to do a live action show or a live movie. I'll do it at a studio lot usually.
I see.
And there's a building called Technicolor there. And they do a lot of post-production there. And that's where I usually do if I go to Paramount and record something, like I did with Noah. I was in the movie Noah. And I also did the Star Trek Into Darkness years ago. That one was done at the Bad Robot Studios, but the other two were done there at the studio lot for Paramount. That was great. It's nice history too. It's fun walking through. I get to go to Warner Brothers and Disney, and I've worked on the Disney lot, the Warner Brothers lot, and the Paramount lot. Just walking through is just so much fun. So much history there.
Wow, sounds really good. I really want to go to Warner Brothers Studio, Hollywood, Universal.
Yeah, they've got the tours. You can go.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. Thinking about it now, it makes me so happy. I think we got one more question. Yeah, one last question I want to ask you relating to Bumblebee. Did you record separately or with other cast members?
Just by myself.
Oh, it doesn't feel real when you record by yourself. Well, part of me wants to record. I know a few of them did record their lines. No, not record their lines. Like sort of like go to sort of the casting, I guess. Because I think Steve Bloom went with Grey Delisle. I recall him saying. Were you there with them?
No, they weren't there. But sometimes, that particular show, there was no one else there. With Noah, you could see people, but
I think they just went to audition for it. I can't remember.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I auditioned from home on that. But Travis Knight is the director of the Bumblebee movie, and he worked with me directly. It's and Robert Rodriguez did too, as well on Alita Battle Angel. It's very rare for that to happen. Usually they have a post-production supervisor or just not someone that's one of the main directors to work with you. So it really made the part special to have the actual director of the movie working with me.
Well, Travis Knight is a big Transformers fan, so I don't blame him for wanting to work with you and all the rest of the other cast members.
I think there were 5 sessions in all. We did a lot of work on it.
Wow. So did he dialogue direct?
Yeah.
Wow. So he didn't just direct it, he directed the dialogue as well. He directed the whole blooming thing. Wow.
At least for my part. I don't know if he did all of it, but he did my part, yeah. And it kept changing. I was there for a couple of years. So the movie was changing as we were recording things, we were changing them.
Wow. So did you just audition for Blitzwing or did you audition? I know, sorry, I shouldn't have said that was my last question because I have a few more.
No, I don't remember. I think I only auditioned for Blitzwing, and I think it was a home audition.
Ah, I see. Wow.
Most are done at home.
I think that was my last question because I completely forgot the other one. It just slipped out of my head. So,
no worries. It was wonderful talking to you.
I've just remembered it. It was something about, Rise of the Beasts. Have you heard of it? Are you involved in it? What are your thoughts?
I would love to be involved in it, but I've not gotten a call.
Oh, bless you.
I'm not involved in it.
If they get Shockwave for a one-off cameo, should be you.
I'd love to be. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's been pushed back a year.
Remember, though, voice is often recorded sometimes in the last 6 months before they release the film.
Got a point, yeah. It's been pushed back to June 2023 now, a whole year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they may not even record until the end of next year.
They've already finished the shooting the scene with the humans, so I think it's just like the CGI now and the voice recording and stuff like that.
Takes a long time. It may have already been cast and recorded for all I know. I don't know.
Yeah, Peter Cullen's Optimus Prime, Ron Perlman, who I'm meeting tomorrow, is Optimus Primal.
Wow.
So yeah, no one else has been announced as in cast members. They are using like Beast Wars cast members like Cheetor, Rhinox, Aerosor, Nightbird, who was only a one-off character, non-speaking in the G1 series, is returning as a speaking character.
Is Depth Charge in it? You can tell me. I didn't know.
I don't believe he is. He hasn't listed as the characters, but they could bring him back. You don't know.
Yeah, they surprise you. They don't want to announce everything.
Stephen Cable Jr. I remember him and Lorenzo Di Bonavera. I can't remember. He was like a producer of the live action films. He and Stephen went to Peter Cullen's house to talk about the film. I was like, you lucky ducks. You lucky man. Yeah. I think that pretty much wraps this interview up then. So that was my last question.
Well, wonderful meeting you, Amber.
Wonderful meeting you too. I nearly called you Stephen. I'm so sorry.
You know what's funny though? You said Stephen. That's sort of my go-to name that people mistake me for. They say Stephen.
Is it?
David. my whole life. I don't know why. If they make a mistake in their name, they say
Wow.
Steven.
Whoa, small world. Oh my gosh. David, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at my last name backwards, at Voloboss. On almost all platforms. There's a couple of Facebook pages where I don't even know how to find them except searching for David Sobolov.
Okay, fair thing. Rollerboss, I just thought that was a really cool name. I didn't realize your last name backwards.
Yeah, it's just my last name backwards. I didn't really think when social media started that anyone needed to find me.
It's really cool though. I like
I might
it.
change it at some point, but that's where it is now.
It sounds like a voice recording system, like some voice actors use. Or if I was like a voice acting class.
There you go.
Rollerboss voice recording. I like it.
Yeah, if anyone's interested in doing any lessons, voice lessons, they can find me through my website, sobolov.com.
Wonderful. I'll put that in the description in that case. So, to you at home, thank you so much for watching this interview. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, subscribe. Yeah, I know I already said that, but 5k subscribers, we've reached it, but I want to keep going because I'm like that. So to you at home, thank you so much for watching. And it's goodbye from me and goodbye from David, whichever way he is on my screen, because I always get the pointing one, so I like to point both ways instead. We'll see you around. Goodbye and
Bye.
cut.